In 1912, the world's most luxurious ship began its first journey. Thousands of people believed they were boarding the safest ship ever built. None of them knew this voyage would soon become one of history's mysteries.
As Titanic slowly disappeared into the open sea, nobody imagined they were saying goodbye forever. But far ahead in the cold Atlantic, something was silently waiting.
Inside, Titanic looked more like a floating palace than a ship. Music echoed through the halls, laughter filled every room, and no one noticed how quickly fate was approaching.
Throughout the day, several ships sent urgent iceberg warnings. Every message described the same danger ahead. But one critical decision would change everything.
The ocean was unusually calm. No waves, no storm, only silence. Sometimes, the calmest night hides the deadliest surprise.
Then, just before midnight, the lookout suddenly froze. A massive shadow appeared straight ahead. In the next few seconds, everything aboard Titanic was about to change. The lookout finally saw it.
Iceberg! Right ahead!
The warning echoed across the ship. But after spotting it, there were only seconds left to react.
The captain gave the order to turn immediately. Engines were reversed, the wheels spun with all its force, but would a ship this massive respond in time?
For a brief moment, it looked like Titanic might escape. Then a grinding sound echoed through the ship as the iceberg scraped along its side. The real damage wasn't visible yet.
Below the surface, freezing seawater rushed into the ship. It came faster than anyone expected. The passengers still felt safe. Deep below their feet, the race against time had begun.
When the damage report arrived, silence filled the bridge. The truth was worse than anyone imagined. Titanic could stay afloat, but not for long.
Most passengers had no idea anything was wrong. Music still played, conversations continued, while the crew quietly prepared for a disaster that was now impossible to stop. Crew members quietly uncovered the lifeboats. Some passengers laughed, believing it was only a precaution. They still couldn't imagine the impossible was actually happening.
The captain now understood the truth. No matter what he did, Titanic would never reach New York. Passengers, that reality would be even harder.
Inside the radio room, operators worked without stopping. One desperate message after another crossed the Atlantic, hoping that somewhere, another ship was listening.
The first lifeboat left the ship, but it wasn't even full. Many people refused to leave because they still believed Titanic was safer than the freezing ocean.
Then the freezing water reached the lower decks. Suddenly, panic replaced confidence. The disaster was no longer hidden. Everyone could finally see it.
As the bow slipped deeper into the Atlantic, even the strongest believers realized the unthinkable had become reality. But the worst moments of Titanic's story were still ahead.
Even as panic spread across the ship, the orchestra kept playing. Their music wasn't stopping the disaster, but it gave frightened families one last moment of courage.
As the lifeboats drifted farther away, the giant ship looked peaceful from a distance. But everyone knew something terrible was about to happen. The front of the ship sank deeper and deeper. Then the massive stern slowly lifted into the freezing night sky, and everyone realized there was no turning back.
Then it happened. A deafening crack echoed across the Atlantic. The world's greatest ship split apart, and the nightmare reached its final chapter. Minutes, Titanic vanished beneath the Atlantic, leaving only darkness, silence, and hundreds of people waiting in the freezing water. But the rescue had not arrived yet. The massive ship rose higher into the night sky. Every second felt longer than the last, as everyone wondered, how much longer could Titanic stay above the water?
Then, without warning, the lights went out. The Atlantic became completely silent, and darkness covered the world's most famous ship.
Moments later, Titanic disappeared beneath the Atlantic. The ocean became calm again, as if nothing had ever happened. Hours later, a rescue ship finally appeared on the horizon. But by then, history had already been changed forever.
The rescue crew pulled survivors aboard one by one. For many, the nightmare was finally over. But the memories would last a lifetime. More than a century later, Titanic remains one of history's greatest human achievements, can never fully conquer nature. Like and subscribe for more true history documentaries.